Hi there! Welcome to part 2. This time, we will focus on solving real-life problems involving least common multiple or LCM of two given numbers. By definition, LCM of any two numbers is the smallest number which is the multiple of both. There are actually many ways to solve LCM, but we will still use listing method. But how can we differentiate problems that can be solved through GCF or through LCM? Well, that is not a problem. All you have to do is to remember 5 common clues that will help you determine. The first 2 clues are smallest number or least number. Examine the screenshot. In that problem, you can find the clue smallest number that leads to conclusion that this problem can be solved by finding the LCM. Easy, right? Another we have repetition and cycle. So in the problem, you can read every 2 days, every 4 days, and again, which tells that there is repetition or cycle in the given problem. Lastly, the 5th clue happened at the same time again. Take a look at the screenshot. If the 2 light bulbs flash at the same time at noon, when will they flash at the same time again? So you see, there's our clue, the phrase at the same time again. So there's no doubt finding the LCM is the way. I have actually read this type of question in many MTOP questionnaires, so please remember those. I will reiterate, the 5 clues that you need to remember are least number, smallest number, repetition, cycle, and happen at the same time again. Please remember that. Here are the 3 steps to get by listing method. First, list down the first few multiples of both numbers. Second, identify the first few common multiples. Third, once you already identified the first common multiple of your list from the left, then consider it done, since the first common multiple is now the LCM. No need to go further listing many multiples. We should not also forget that the accuracy of your answer depends to how systematic you are with answering the problem. When I say systematic, you need to follow the 4 steps or the UPSC steps, where U stands for understand, P stands for plan, S stands for solve, C stands for check and look back. To be able to understand the problem better, start with answering what is asked. Again, we can find this at the very last sentence. Then identify the given facts. Look for numbers in the problem. Include the entire phrase to be more accurate. Second step is planning on how to solve the problem. In this stage, it's where you look for clues, the one I have mentioned earlier, the 5 clues. I hope you remember those. Third step is to solve it using the strategy that you have decided to use, whether you use the GCF or the LCM. Fourth step is check and look back. These steps are actually the same steps we used in our last lesson on GCF. I hope you've mastered these steps already. Let us try to solve the given problem and apply the 4 steps. Please be attentive. Jackson Store sells colored paper in packs of 20 and envelopes in packs of 50. If Kiana wants the same number of each item, What is the least number of items that she will have to buy? We start with step 1, understanding the problem by answering what is being asked. I have already mentioned in part 1 that this is found at the very last sentence in a form of question. So we have, what is the least number of items that she will have to buy? We will remove the word what and the verb is and the question mark at the last part. We can also replace the pronoun she with its antecedent or the noun Kiana to make it clearer. Thus, we have the least number of items Kiana will buy. That is the one being asked in the problem. Second, what are the given facts? Let us look for numbers. So we have 20, but please include the entire phrase. And we have 50. So the given facts are colored paper in packs of 20 and envelopes in packs of 50. Step 2. Let's have a plan as to how this kind of problem is being solved. Again, let's search for word clues. Our clue here is least number. Therefore, this can be solved through finding the LCM. Moving on to step 3, we can solve it by listing the multiples. Let us now find the LCM of 20 and 50. For step number 1, list down the first few multiples of the given numbers. But how do we get the multiples? It is actually the same as you do skip counting but with bigger number. Example, the first multiple of 20 is 20 because it is the product when you multiply 20 by 1. So 20 times 1 equals 20, and the 20 is your first multiple. Next, 20 times 2 equals 40. 40 now becomes the second multiple. 20 times 3 equals 60. 60 being the third multiple. 20 times 4 equals 80. So 80 is the fourth multiple. 20 times 5 equals 100. The fifth multiple. 20 times 6 is equal to 120. So those are the first 6 multiples of 20. Let's go to 50. 50 times 1 equals 50. That's why 50 is the first multiple. 50 times 2 equals 100. 100 being the second multiple. 50 times 3 equals 150. So 150 is the third multiple. 50 times 4 equals 200. Your fourth multiple. So we will stop here and proceed to step 2. Let us now identify the first few common multiples. Sometimes, if you already found the first common multiple, you can actually stop listing the multiples, since the very first common multiple in your list, starting from the left, is definitely the LCM. In 20 and 50, the first common multiple is 100. Therefore, 100 is the least common multiple, or LCM, of 20 and 50. With that, we can say that the least number of items that Kiana will buy is 100. Kiana will buy 5 packs of colored paper, making it 100 pieces, and 2 packs of envelopes, which is also equivalent to 100 pieces. I hope that's clear. Without further ado, let's have activity number 1. Get your pen and paper, listen as I read each problem, and choose the letter of the correct answer for each question. After I read each question, you only have 5 seconds to answer. Are you ready, kids? This is activity number 1. What is the smallest number of avocados that can be placed in baskets with 50 and 75 pieces? Question number 1. What is asked? A. The number of avocados that can be placed in the baskets. B. The greatest number of avocados that can be placed in the baskets. C. The smallest number of avocados that can be placed in the baskets. D. the total number of avocados found in the baskets. You only have 5 seconds. Your timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter C. Question number 2. What are the given facts? A. 50 avocados. B. 75 avocados. C. 50 avocados and 75 avocados. Or letter D. 125 avocados. Your timer starts now. Alright, the correct answer is letter C. Question number 3. How will you solve the problem? A. Is it through finding the least common multiple or LCM? Or B. By finding the greatest common factor or the GCF? C. By multiplying the two factors? Or D. By listing the factors? You have 5 seconds. The correct answer is letter A. We're now on question number 4. What is the LCM of 50 and 75? Is it A. 50, B. 100, or C. 150, and D. 200? Your timer starts now. Okay, the correct answer is letter C. So how do we get letter C or 150 as our LCM? Again, we're going to find the LCM of 50 and 75 by listing down first the first few multiples of the given pair of numbers. So the multiples of 50 is, you have 50, 100, 150, 200, and 250. While the multiples of 75 are 75, 150, 225. Okay, so we stop at 225 since we already found our LCM. So by looking at the multiples of 50 and 75, we can see that number 150 is the first common multiple of our given pair, and then automatically the first common multiple, that is our least common multiple, so automatically our LCM is of course 150. Let us now proceed to activity number 2. Jade is thinking of a number that is divisible by both 8 and 10. What is the smallest possible number that Jade could be thinking of? Question number 1. What is asked? A. The smallest possible number that Jade could be thinking of. B. The greatest possible number that Jade could be thinking of. C. The product of 8 and 10. D. The number between 8 and 10. You have 5 seconds. Alright, the answer is letter A, the smallest possible number that Jade could be thinking of. Question number 2. What are the given facts? A. 8, B. 10, C. 8 and 10, D. 18. Your timer starts now. Alright, the answer is letter C, 8 and 10. Question number 3. How will you solve the problem? A. By multiplying the two factors. B. By finding the least common multiple or LCM. C. By finding the greatest common factor. D. By listing the factors. The answer is letter B, by finding the LCM. Question number 4. What is the LCM of 8 and 10? Is it A, 20, B, 40, C, 60, D, 8? The correct answer is letter B, 40. So how did we get 40 as our LCM? Step 1, find or list down the first few multiples of 8 and 10. So the multiples of 8, you have 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. While the multiples of 10, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Step number 2, again, identify the first few common multiples of 8 and 10. So we only have 40. So 40 is our first common multiple of 8 and 10. But then again, we all know that the first common multiple, that is also our LCM, or the least common multiple. So there's no need for you to go any further. You can stop listing the multiples if you already knew or find the first common multiple of both numbers, because that is considered your LCM automatically. So therefore, our LCM is 40. Now you can count your score. Those who got 8, great job. Those who got 7 and 6, very good also. Those who got 5 and below, do well in your activity. So answer the following activities in your learning activity sheets provided to you, that is specifically last 6, on solving real-life problems involving GCF and LCM of two given numbers. So answer problem number 3 on page 10 to 11, problem number 4 on page 11, and assessment on page 13 to 14. For your problem number 3 and problem number 4, you can check your answer through the answer key provided on page 16. While for the assessment, there's no answer key for that. All you have to do is to submit that, because I'll be the one to check your answer. Okay? Thank you, kids. That ends our part 2 for week 3. Thank you so much.